Good morning, and thank you for joining us today to learn more about Greece. I am Lindsay Hickman. I am your local business development manager for Colette, and I'm so excited to be here to tell you about the great trip we have planned for y'all. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Colette to start off with, and first up is a video.
You know how to get here or here? Have you ever tasted anything like this or this? Maybe you just want to spend a night looking up at the stars, spend the day shopping, or just try something new. Whether you want to get in touch with nature, party like a local, let us do the hard work so you can have more fun. This is Touring with Colette. Till you see by yourself.
That's our video, and I always like to warn everyone, the more you travel with us, the more likely you are to end up in one of our promotional videos because our marketing team goes along on our trips and records them. So those aren't, bought videos. That is actual Colette travelers in the videos. But again, welcome to the Douglas County Chamber of Commerce. We really appreciate the partnership we have with Douglas County. This is y'all's third trip with us, I believe, and I'm sure y'all would agree with, those of you who traveled with us would agree with some of the things I'm about to talk about, reasons why travelers like Colette. We have fewer one night stays. Y'all, the last trip was one of our spotlight tours where you stayed in one hotel. And that really allows you to really dive in deep to the destination and experience it the way you want to. We have premium touring with four-star plus accommodations. And especially on this trip that we're looking at, Greece Island Hopper has some of the best hotels and places that you're going to want to spend some time in and explore. We're the most inclusive operator in terms of that we include all of our itineraries are fully fleshed out and have a lot included with the first price. On this tour, we do have a couple of optional excursions because they're boat rides or things that might not interest you or a food tour. But usually everything on the itinerary is included in the price of the tour. Our product is designed for travelers by travelers. We don't plan an itinerary by looking it up on the internet. We go and we flesh it out and we visit the tour hotels and we eat in the restaurants. And they're planned by people who are familiar with the regions. They know how to find those hidden gems and show you the best of where you're traveling to. We offer a lot of balance on our tours. You'll see a lot of leisure time. That is to let you explore the way you want to. And especially on this trip, you're going to be on two of the world's most famous islands. So everybody wants some beach time when they're in the Mediterranean. Food is such a huge part of travel, and we make sure to include that throughout the trip. On this tour, you have several local dinners and you have an opportunity to see how cheese is made as well as visit a local vineyard. Our accommodations are supposed to enhance your tour. So we make sure that we have our hotels are chosen to be centrally located, convenient for what we're doing, and then also add to your experience there. We do the same thing with our transportation. We're on this tour, we're going to use the public ferry because that's the way the Greeks get around. And so we want you to travel the way the locals do. And then we have the best tour managers in the industry. And we don't just think so, they are award winning and recognized. And I think they make your experience top notch. You'll come to find that they are the best people to work with. So, this is a Greece Island Hopper tour. It's your gateway to island living, ancient history, and Mediterranean charm. This is an 11-day tour with 14 meals included, and we'll spend time in Athens, Mykonos, and Santorini, each destination offering its own flavor of Greek life. So here's an overview of your tour. Your first night, you fly into Athens, where we'll spend 2 nights, and then we'll move by public ferry to Mykonos, where we'll spend 3 nights, and then another 3 nights on Santorini after taking the ferry there. We do fly back to Santorini and have a final night in Athens to avoid any rush or concern. Getting to the airport. So that one night is just to allow the pace to be breathable and no pressure if the flight from Santorini to Athens is delayed. Also, we have a post tour option on this post tour extension to Istanbul, which is one of the coolest cities in the world. It's a European city in a Middle Eastern country. So, definitely something to check out if you have the ability and the time to do that. We'll talk more about that after we go through the Greece itinerary. So this is one of our classic tours. It's ideal for seeing the world's iconic destinations. These trips can hold up to 44 passengers, but the average size is 36 to 38. It's a great way to skip the line and hit all the highlights at a great price. This is a tour activity level 3, so it's for your on-the-go traveler. There's a lot of uneven steps, rugged terrain, walking for this tour. The islands are all mountainous, volcanic islands, and so you're up and down the terrain. So just something to keep in mind as you're considering the trip. And things about Greece. So it's 7 hours ahead of us. It is a euro. They are on the euro. It's part of the European Union. But credit cards are widely accepted, so that makes life easy. It is an island in the Mediterranean, so you will want hats and sunscreen because you will see the sun. And then layers and comfortable walking shoes are always a part of travel. So, welcome to Athens. After an overnight flight, you'll arrive in Athens, a city where ancient monuments and modern life exist side by side. You'll want to stroll through the Plaka district, sip an espresso at a local cafe, and rest after your travels, and you have the freedom to ease into the Greek rhythm. You'll enjoy gather with your fellow travelers later that evening for a welcome dinner. You'll explore the best of Athens on a guided city tour the next day. You'll visit the Temple of Zeus and learn about the Olympic history at the stadium. It's the only stadium in the world to be fully built of marble. And then the Parthenon, which is just isn't an icon, it's a symbol of Western civilization. It was built nearly 2,500 years ago and still inspires awe with its sheer scale and symmetry. That evening, you'll be have dinner at leisure, and you can explore the city as you wish. The next morning, will be trade the mainland for island living. So you'll board the public ferry to Mykonos. You'll need to carry your own luggage about 200 feet up a gangway and onto the ferry. It's a quick but chaotic onboarding, and our tour manager will guide you through all of it. But just be aware you will be carrying your own luggage at that point. So then you arrive in Mykonos, cobble streets, beach bars, set a scene for an unforgettable day. You'll just explore the old town with its winding lanes and iconic windmills. There's time to wander and get your bearings before we check into the hotel. And then the island is yours to explore. You have a choice. You can do the beach or look for some culture. Both options are fantastic. And option number one is pure relaxation, a visit to one of Mykonos's beaches. You can swim, sunbathe, or enjoy a drink at the beach bar. And then option two dives into a visit to Lena's house, a 19th century folk museum that gives you a glimpse into traditional life on the island. And then the next day is free as well to explore at your own pace. You can sleep in, stroll the beaches, or sip iced coffee under the shade of an olive tree. We do offer an optional excursion. Um, that day at the Flavors of Mykonos. You'll visit a quiet village and stop at a local farm where you'll meet the makers and taste fresh cheeses, local wine, and olive oil. This is a great way to see a quieter side of the island. We do recommend making the choice about the excursions before final payment, pre-booking on that. And then the next day is another free day in paradise. You can sleep in, hit the beach, explore more of the island, or join the optional excursion to Delos, one of the most sacred sites in all of Greece. So this is Apollo's sacred island, the birthplace of Apollo and Artemis, and one of the best preserved archaeological sites in the country. It's a half-day tour, and it's in the sun, so you'll want sunscreen, water, maybe good walking shoes, and maybe a hat. But this is one of the most magical and meaningful sites in Greece, only accessible by boat from Mykonos. So you'll learn about the birthplace of Apollo, stroll through ancient ruins, and feel the energy that lingers there. And then we'll move by ferry and to Santorini, the postcard perfect island known for its dramatic cliffs and blue domes. And just like before, you'll be responsible for your own luggage, getting on and off the ferry. It's hard to capture Santorini in words. It's one of those places that just has to be experienced. You'll wander the lanes, pass the homes and cozy cafes, and take in legendary views all over the Caldera. This place is popular for a reason, and there will be crowds. It's a heavily populated, heavily visited island, but the atmosphere, the scenery, the light, it's unforgettable. So after we arrive in Santorini, we'll gather for dinner, which is included. And then the next morning, you'll have the option to visit one of the prehistoric settlements in Eastern Mediterranean. This is a strong Minoan influence, so it's often known as the Minoan Pompeii. It's a sophisticated town that was buried and preserved by a volcanic eruption around 1450 BC. Afterwards, we'll visit a local winery to discover why the Santorini's wines are so distinctive. The secret lies in the volcanic soil and the basket-trained vines. You'll enjoy a wine tasting with a light lunch and learn about the native varieties. The rest of the afternoon is yours to explore in Santorini, so you can wander about the island however you want, go shopping, visit the museum, or go to one of the black sand beaches. And then on your last day, whether you choose to sail, shop, or relax, it's your last full day on the island. So you'll want to make sure you capture that final photo, savor the seafood, and revisit a favorite cafe. There is also an optional excursion. If you like guided tour experiencing, you'll consider joining the full island cruise. You'll spend the afternoon sailing around Santorini's smaller islets, exploring hidden coves and volcanic rock formations, and then you'll enjoy dinner on the boat as the sun melts into the sea. It's a magical way to close out your trip. And then we'll return to Athens. You'll have a final taverna dinner that evening to settle in before departing for home. So that final dinner will include live music and local entertainment. It's a celebration of everything you've seen, tasted, and felt along the way. So, Opa! And the tour ends. You'll say goodbye to Greece and you'll leave with new friendships, unforgettable memories, and hopefully a few bottles of olive oil or wine in your suitcase. You can extend your stay and join us on a post-tour extension to Istanbul. It's a city that bridges two continents, and upon arrival, you'll enjoy dinner at a local restaurant with authentic Turkish cuisine. Day two of the extension, you'll explore Istanbul's most iconic sites with a local guide. This extension is fully guided, so you'll have a tour manager with you at all times. It may or may not be the same one you had in Greece, but there's lots to see, including the Grand Bazaar pictured here, which is a must-see while visiting that area of the world. And then you'll cruise along the next day, you'll cruise along the Bosphorus Strait, taking in Istanbul skyline. You have the afternoon after the cruise to discover Istanbul how you'd like to. I highly recommend an experience like the Hammam bath, a traditional spa ritual with steam scrub and foam massage. It is a full body experience. Or you can go in search of the best Turkish delight and some of the other specialties found in Istanbul. There's multiple ways to customize your adventure. We talked about the excursions that are available on this trip. You also can fly over early to adjust if that's something that you enjoy. You can stay late longer in Athens, or you can join us on the post-tour extension to Turkey. Upgrading your airfare, adding meals, anything like that. We're happy to assist you in customizing your adventure. You can make your trip however you want it to be. We really appreciate y'all's traveling with us, and we look forward to having you in Greece. Included with all of this tour, as with all of our tours, is the hometown pickup, where we will take you from the Douglasville Chamber to the Atlanta airport and back again. Even if you depart early or stay late, you will be provided this transportation service. We also offer a travel protection plan, which allows you to cancel your trip up until the day before departure. That way, you're protected if life happens. Good and bad things happen to us all. So this allows you to adjust your plans as needed. However, once you are traveling with us, that travel protection plan covers you while on tour. It turns into full medical coverage, including medical evacuation, emergency baggage loss, trip disruption, flight delay, flight cancellation. And it allows Colette's emergency services team to come around you and help you in whatever way. If you have traveled with us before, you are already registered for the Passport Club and you have credits to use towards this trip. It is a loyalty program and it incentivizes you to travel more with us. The bigger the trip, the larger the reward, and the more you travel, the more benefits you receive. So, this is applied towards your final payment. So, if you went to France with us with the chamber, then you have credits for this trip. This is an international tour, and so you do need a passport. We want your passport to be good 8 months past your return date. So for this trip, that would be July of 2027. So just check your passport, make sure it's all good to go when you go to register. You will have to give your passport information to us to sign up for the trip. So that's a good time to make sure it's dated appropriately. You do have the ability to book this trip online. Um, we do have, we do take all major credit cards and payment with no processing fees. Or you can send a check or a money order in as well. So we can arrange for payment however you are most comfortable. And here is the information about the trip. So we are going on the Greece Island Hopper Tour next October, October 7th through the 17th of 2026. The deposit is $698 a person. The cancel for any reason insurance, which protects your trip, is $549. That is due at the time of deposit if you want to purchase that. That deposit due date is coming up on February 8th of this year, and final payment is due 90 days before departure, which is July 9th of 2026. The double occupancy for this trip is $5,249. That means two people in a room, and then each person would have the cost of the insurance, and that does include the transfer to and from the airport, pickup once in destination, the hotels, all the taxes, the airfare and taxes, porterage, and all the included itinerary, and your tour manager. We do have triple and single rates available. So if you are interested in this tour and you might be traveling as a single, you're going to want to sign up soon because they are limited. And it's much easier for us to move you from a single room to a double room rather than take you down to a single room. So you can always add a friend if they decide to come. But once again, we're really excited to have y'all come into Greece with us. This is a great trip. It's one of our top 10 tours. People love the islands and the island life, and this really allows you to spend time from 3 days on each island, so you get to fully experience without having to leave the island at 4 o'clock like you do on a cruise. So our hotels on this trip are top notch, and people we just get rave reviews. So we really appreciate y'all choosing to travel with Colette again, and look forward to seeing you in Greece. Thank you so much, and have a great day.